Have you ever asked yourself why you can't succeed? Is your environment to blame, or is it something inside of you? A lot of people in their journey to success are quick to blame others when things go wrong. But the truth is, you need to embrace setbacks and look at them as an opportunity to learn. So today, we're going to talk about 4 reasons why you should embrace failure. Number 1, failure helps you get into the right mindset. When you fail, your first instinct will be to figure out what went wrong. You want to understand what happened so that you can improve next time. And this process allows you to enter what Thomas Edison referred to as the inventor is state of mind. This is a really interesting concept because he was talking about the mindset you need to be successful in whatever field you go into. In fact, he said the only reason he was able to invent the light bulb was because he trained himself to enter this special state of mind every single day. He said, "I have not failed 10,000 times. I've succeeded 10,000 times. I've learned 10,000 different ways to make a light bulb." How crazy is that? Because for all of us outside looking in, all we saw were the final product. We knew about the light bulb, but we had no idea about all the different iterations it took to get there. And so you need to start embracing failure because when you do, you'll start entering this right state of mind where you're analyzing everything that went wrong. So that way you can learn from it and then do it better next time. Now, after you analyze what went wrong, the second thing that happens is that you get to practice again. And this ties in perfectly with Robert Atla's law of practice. It says that it takes about 2 months to build a habit if you practice it every day. And if you miss 1 day, you set the progress back about 2 weeks. But if you miss 3 days, it can set you back 2 months. And this is very true, because building any kind of new habit is hard. For example, going to the gym every day is tough. But let's say you go for 2 weeks straight and then you miss 1 day. All of a sudden, you feel like crap. You ask yourself, what am I doing? I've been working out consistently and now I'm starting to slide backwards. And those thoughts are enough to make you quit. But the reality is that every time you mess up, you have an opportunity to practice again. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Sure, maybe you didn't perform as well as you would have liked. Maybe you didn't execute as much as you could have, but you get to try again. There are people out there who wish they had a second chance. You could be in a hospital right now wishing you made better choices yesterday so you wouldn't be in the position you're in. And yet here you are being given another opportunity to learn from what just happened and apply that knowledge next time around. So the key takeaway here is that every time you fail, you have an opportunity to enter the right state of mind and then practice again so that you can do better next time. Number 3. Failure builds resilience. In life, you're always going to face adversity, and there are multiple reasons why you need to be resilient. The most important one is that when you bounce back quicker from setbacks, you can achieve more success. Now, many years ago, there was a study that surveyed over 600 adults, and it found that those who embraced failure, those who were willing to take risks, and those who thought it was okay to fail, they were more likely to be physically healthy and mentally resilient. This is called having a growth mindset. And the best part about it is that you can develop one over time. If you decide to embrace failure and use it as fuel to grow, you'll become more resilient. And in turn, you'll be able to overcome future obstacles with ease. 4. Failure gives you confidence and comfort with the unknown. Have you ever met somebody who's super successful and then you find out that they've done that same thing multiple times? That's because successful people tend to repeat their habits over and over and over again. They have systems and processes that work so they don't need to reinvent the wheel every time they start something new. But if you're still early in your journey, then you may not have developed a strong foundation of transferable skills yet. And since you're not comfortable with the unknown, you become paralyzed by fear. You're afraid to step outside of your comfort zone, and that makes it extremely difficult to learn and grow. But listen, whenever you're in this situation, you have to remind yourself that the more risks you take, the more failures you'll experience, and that will build confidence with the unknown. When you think about it, it makes perfect sense. When you're in your comfort zone, you're feeling safe and secure, And when you're outside of your comfort zone, you're experiencing anxiety and fear. But if you do things that scare you on a regular basis, eventually those things that once felt scary become normal and natural to you. And the same thing happens with failure. When you first start out, everything feels unknown and unpredictable. But the more failures you experience, the more confident you'll become. Remember, it's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It's the most adaptable. Charles Darwin wrote that in his book, The Origin of Species. And the reality is that our world today is changing faster than it ever has before. Just think about it. In the last 100 years, we've gone from horse-drawn carriages to driverless cars. We've gone from the invention of the light bulb to smartphones that fit in our pockets. We've gone from sending letters by hand to having instant communication across the globe. And in the next 100 years, who knows what kind of advancements we'll see. Point is, if you want to be successful, you have to be willing to embrace failure because it's going to help you adapt and become more resilient. And speaking of that, let me know down below in the comments how many times you've failed this year. Don't hold back. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, so if you've gotten some value from this video, please give it a like. And also, make sure to watch these videos here because they're pretty awesome too. Hope you have an amazing week and we'll see you back here next time.